Thank you for coming. Welcome to the Rice Pudding Project. You are Rhian Adams. Honestly, I don't know how to describe you because there are so many adjectives and things that you do that are a little bit embarrassing for the normal person, for a normal man. Because first of all, you're a mother, which is amazing. I know this, that it's amazing being a mother because, not that I am one, I'm a father. I've seen what mothers go through in childbirth once. And I've said this before, I think every man should see what it is. Because then you realize how inadequate you are and how little you do in the life when you see, because childbirth is intense.
It's intense.
Yeah, so is pregnancy. It's not easy. It's easy for the man. It's not easy for the woman. They do so much more, and I guess that's why the bond is. So anyway, so you're a mother, which is amazing. Twice over.
Yes.
You have a boy and a girl.
Yeah.
You are a personal trainer.
Yeah.
You specialize in pre and postnatal.
Yes.
You do those crazy Spartan races.
Yes.
I've seen you hanging from the monkey bars and
Yeah,
stuff.
the ropes, the
and
monkey
jumping.
bars, yeah.
I can't do a pull up. I've now built up my strength to hold myself for a few seconds.
Hanging from the bar, good. That's
Yes,
the start.
it's a start. Yes. You compete in WNBF.
Natural bodybuilding competitions.
So
yes.
no drugs.
No drugs. Nothing
No
illegal,
drugs.
yeah.
Okay. That you have a camel.
I have a camel.
Which
yes,
is
called Mona.
Cool. The surprising thing is you do the rugby. You do the rugby. You're a rugby player as well, which scares the out of me because, like, I grew up in England. I never once tried rugby. It just
Wow, you've got the build for rugby.
Everyone says that, but I don't have the. I have the build, but I don't have the
aggression.
Not the aggression, the guts. I don't want to get hit like that. I've
courage.
seen how you guys hit each other. You ladies hit each other.
You learn to land, which has helped with camel riding, because you learn to land off the camel because of all the rugby. So
you fall
when
off a camel?
someone tackles you,
Yeah.
obviously you don't want to break any bones in your body, right?
Yes.
So you put your shoulder down on the floor and you cushion the fall.
Okay, but you've had injuries then from rugby.
I've had a lot of injuries, which ended my rugby career. I did my ACL, which kind of ended it for me twice.
Twice you did your ACL?
Yeah, twice on the same leg.
Isn't that like a 7-8 month recovery?
Yeah, it was about 9 months till I got back to actually playing on the field.
Okay.
So that's when I stepped into bodybuilding and entering natural bodybuilding competitions. But rugby was from the age of 15, so playing in the Welsh squad. And I matured a lot. I was the youngest player in the squad at one point.
Yeah.
And I think I've underestimated how much playing at a high level of rugby have helped me as a person and an athlete later on in life, how it teaches you discipline, how it teaches you leadership, how to stay focused and to eliminate all distractions.
Yeah.
And actually they show now a lot of the successful female CEOs have been high-level athletes when they were younger.
You don't know how hard it is to come back from an injury until you've had an injury, because I've had injuries and I can say like I wouldn't say a career, but when I was doing triathlon, I've never been the same from after my knee. Like I had an accident and then I never went back, but I know people that went back straight away. But for you to go back after an ACL, which is
I think when we want to become the best we can be at the sport that we do, it kind of becomes your identity. So when you get injured, that's devastating because your purpose is gone.
Yeah.
What do you do now? And so I think that's why it's good for us also, because it makes us reevaluate who we are and realize that that's not everything.
Yeah.
There's so many other things that's important, and I think it's character building, right?
Okay.
And then that's how we come back stronger. We come back a better athlete. We come back with stronger muscles and abilities, and we've developed in areas that we wouldn't have otherwise. Like my ability to read the game of rugby after coming back from doing my ACL was so much greater because I was spending more time evaluating, analysing games and
just watching
the position
and
of being a scrum half. Yeah, which is...
What's a scrum half?
A scrum half is the protected one.
Okay.
So
but that's very loose term in rugby because I've never seen everyone gets hit.
Well, I'm supposed to be the protected one, but I'm the one at the back of the rack. The ball is presented, and I get the ball out to the backs to be able to take the ball forward.
But
So
when
there's-
that ball comes out, then they're going to try and jump on you first.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so you
yeah.
have to throw it
well,
off
it's
quickly.
the job of the forwards to protect me.
Okay.
Okay. But there's a lot of decision making involved, and there's a lot of focus, there's a lot of reading the game.
Okay.
So, the ball is there, you've
Yeah.
got to look around, you've got to strategize, and you've got to make the best decision. And you know how that helps you in life? It's like, you're in a difficult situation, you're
Yeah.
like, right, put your foot on the ball a minute.
Yeah.
Let's look around.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at where everyone is.
Yeah.
And let's try and make the best decision.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
That makes sense. And with rugby, so how old were you when you quit, when you stopped playing rugby, let's say?
I was...
Competitively.
I came to Dubai 10 years ago. I carried
Okay.
on playing for UAE North and a couple of played in Dubai Sevens a few times.
Okay. That's a much faster pace, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I did do white collar boxing for a while. I had the first women's white collar boxing fight in my country.
Okay.
Which was another amazing experience.
Is that with the head guards as well?
With the head guard, the mouth guard, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many rounds is that?
That was, I think it was 3-minute rounds. Yeah.
Okay.
My opponent, her appendix burst the day before. They had to bring in another opponent, an Irish fighter who is still fighting today. And
Okay.
thank God I won.
Oh, you won?
I have no
Okay.
idea how I had the courage to pursue that journey
Okay.
and step into the ring.
How many fights did you have?
Only the one fight, the first women's white collar boxing fight it was.
May I ask why you wanted to box?
It's something I'm good at, very good
Okay.
at.
Is this because of rugby?
I don't know. There's a level of skill involved in boxing, right? But you've
Yeah.
also got to read what's coming next.
Yeah.
It's not just about the jab and the cross. You got to, So I think, maybe you've got to be fast on your feet as a scrum half in rugby.
Okay.
You've got to be
Fast.
fast off the mark, with boxing.
Okay.
But it was something I was good at, but I never wanted to be in the ring and have to be punched. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a box ticked.
Yeah.
But
Okay. That's the part I don't like. I don't mind hitting. I don't want to be hit. I don't want that.
Yeah.
It's like, have you seen
As
that
long
new?
as you have your guard up.
I don't mind doing the hitting. I just don't want to get hit.
Yeah.
I don't. That's
No one wants to get hit though, right? That's
I
why
know
you've got
some
to
people
be
love it.
prepared and equipped to get into the ring. Some people love it, do they?
They love. Yeah, they thrive on it. They get hit and they just scream. They're like, ah. I'm like, no. I'd be like, ow.
Yeah, that's
Like,
not me either.
Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan till you get punched in the face.
Very
and
true.
I don't want, Like, they're like, would you box with Tyson? 100% I would. Give me 10 million, I would box. Then we would go ding, ding, ding. I would fall on the ground and be like, I give up.
Yeah.
I'll take them. But I don't want to get, I don't want to get hit.
But, boxing is the same, and how it translates to life. You get punched in the face, you get knocked down, you get back up and you keep fighting. You're like, I just stay down.
See, I would just, exactly. That's why I married a 5th-degree black belt in karate. She does the fighting for me.
There we go.
Women are just tougher. Like, I know people say that, like, men are stronger. I'm not going to get into that argument. But, like, again, yes, physically, maybe naturally, ordinarily, whatever it is, biologically, men technically are stronger. But if you go, like, pound for pound or strength or what they've gone through, or like childbirth and things like that, there's no comparison.
I mean, to be fair, you've married a real tough, strong, beautiful woman.
I have.
So,
I'm lucky. Her eyesight wasn't that good, so she didn't figure out until it was too late. She signed the contract and now she's stuck. But I've been improving the last 8 years, so it's good.
She's teaching you well.
Yeah, but you also are the same. You both share a lot of the same characteristics: strength, motherhood. Don't get defeated.
Yeah,
and
I
keep
think
on
motherhood
striving.
makes you stronger.
Yeah, I think so.
For sure, you've got a lot to juggle. It's not easy.
I don't know how you have two. I'll be honest with you. And you're a single mum, which is
Yeah,
very
yeah.
impressive. Like, I have to say, Becky she had natural birth. I was there the whole time. And it was hard work. And it was hard for me to see her going through that, to the point where I was like, Doc, we need some drugs. And then Becky was like, no, I'm going natural. And I'm like, no, for me, let me have something to... I couldn't go... It's so...
Wow, and she's a top athlete. Yeah, I mean,
know?
some would say it's the
And you did it
biggest
twice.
athletic event of their life.
100%.
Yeah.
And you did it twice.
Twice, yeah. But I roared like a lion.
Oh, man.
It's funny how we forget about it afterwards, and then we just go and have another one, right?
Would you have more? Yeah.
I would love to have more.
Really?
I really would, yeah.
Wow.
Let's see. If it's God's plan, let's see.
Oh, How do you manage? How do you
That's
juggle?
why training becomes such a therapy for our mind rather than our, rather than our physical health. It's more for our mental health.
I've got to say, to be very honest, I've sat there many a times on your and seen your Instagram, and I've seen what you go through, with Samson,
Samson,
and the
yeah.
hospital visits. I got to tell you, I tell my wife on a regular basis, I don't know how you have the strength. I couldn't do it. What Samson has is
Angelman syndrome.
Angelman syndrome. So if you want to explain what that
Yeah.
is.
Samson had the diagnosis at 10 months old. So I noticed around 5 months there was something not quite right. He wasn't hitting his milestones, being able to sit up and things like that, not even reaching out and grabbing things. And then after some searching for answers, we had the diagnosis of Angelman syndrome. And I remember before the diagnosis, the doctor said, there is another test we're going to put in for. It's a very severe disorder, but and it comes with a happy demeanor. So we're going to put that test in as well. And I
What does
remember
that mean,
thinking,
happy demeanor?
like very excitable and happy.
Okay.
And Samson's very happy.
He's always happy.
all the
He's always
time.
smiling. Thank God. I mean, that's a blessing that he's smiling. I
Yeah.
see him even when he's trying to walk, and when he drops and he stands up, and he's not sad. He's smiling all the time, and
Yeah.
that's a wonderful thing.
So, the diagnosis came back as Angelman syndrome, which means basically one of the chromosomes on gene UBE3A in his brain is silenced, and that gene is responsible for movement, speech, and learning.
Okay.
So, which means he'll be non-verbal, which means he may never walk or stand, or if he does, he's usually by the age of 4. Well, he's actually 5 now in December, but we're not giving up.
But he stands.
He cannot stand, no.
Oh, but I see him walking in he's walking though.
Yeah, so when he does his therapy in the morning, at the end of the session, like he's able to walk a little bit and do
Okay.
some steps.
Yeah.
But functionally through the day, he's not able to do.
Oh, it's not okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why like it looks so close, yet it's still so far off.
Okay.
But we won't give up.
Of course not.
And believing that he'll be running around and jumping, one day soon. And so it's also responsible for learning. So it's the intellectual disability which is the most difficult. He can understand his name. He can understand basic like cues and gestures like come and up, but he can't really understand any other words or sentences that I say. So that's very difficult. He cannot swallow water, so he has like peg tube in his stomach, and
he
he
can't.
has water pump 4 times a day through his stomach.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, he has a low immunity, and any cold or virus, he needs like oxygen to recover. We have a big medical setup at home. We have 2 emergency oxygen tanks and oxygen concentrator equipment as well. And he's had 19 hospital stays. We've had about 30 emergencies. We live 2 streets away from the hospital, thankfully. And our longest stay has been 28 days in intensive care.
28 days.
Yeah.
How old was he when that happened?
He was 14 months. Yeah. And we didn't know if he was going to make it. It was very tough. I battled in prayer, asked, use my social media platform, asked people to pray around the world and fast and around the clock. And he went in with RSV virus, then he had enterovirus, sepsis, then he had a fungal infection in his blood, pneumonia in both lungs, and then he had deep vein thrombosis. It was endless. We needed to get him out of hospital. It was very tough.
This is at 14 months?
No, he was there 28 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was 14 months old. Yeah, and because of his vision delay, he couldn't see us. He couldn't recognize us. So he'd been breastfed for 14 months. Then he got rushed into intensive care. And imagine he can't see me. He can't be breastfed. And it was a very, very difficult time. I think it was that stay where I really accepted his diagnosis.
At 14?
I thought, as long as he makes it through, like as long as he survives, it doesn't matter about his limitations anymore. I don't care that he can't speak, he can't walk, he can't live an independent life, get married, never have a job. you know, I just need him alive. Yeah, so I really accepted his diagnosis then. Little did I know he would have so many other hospital stays. Earlier in this year, he was back in intensive care, and again, it was, you know, you don't know which way it's going to go.
Yeah.
But he's such a fighter. You know, most adults wouldn't have survived what Samson's been through.
100%.
He's so resilient, he's so strong.
And again, every time I see he's always happy. Even
Yeah.
the hospital visits that I see, he's happy, smiling. And his sister, your daughter as well, is there with him.
She's incredible.
You know, like
Yeah.
inclusive, supportive. You know, how is that? I mean, she's only 7, but like she's gone through this since she was 2-3 years old.
Yeah.
So that's had an effect on her as well. And how do you think
imagine that's 19 hospital stays where her mother has been away from her.
Mm.
But now, like, I bring her to the hospital. I would rather her stay at the hospital with me, with us,
And
which
she probably
helps
as well.
Samson's recovery,
Yeah.
than be away from me.
Yeah.
But she's been there when we've been rushed into emergency over and over again. And, you know, she's witnessed some things. It's been quite traumatizing for her. But she's very strong, and she has a heart of gold. She understands Samson when I can't understand what he
They have a
wants and
bond.
needs. And she's like his soul sister. She's, you know, they destined to be brother and sister. It's and every morning in her prayer time, she prays to God that, God, please help Samson walk and talk like the rest of us and think like the rest of us. And, you know, she prays that he'll be able to run to the door when Mummy comes home. 'Cause she runs to the door, but Samson obviously can't.
But he will. I mean,
He
like I
will.
said, what I've seen over the last 6 months in his progression is amazing. It's unbelievable. So if you think, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's 2 years, 3 years, but if that, all you need is that progression to continue, and eventually he will. And who knows? I mean, because there's so many stories of people who they say they couldn't and then they did, and
But you know, there's also a cure on the horizon.
Oh, really?
There's there's 4 different approaches they find in a cure for Angelman syndrome.
Okay.
And a few of them are in clinical trials on phase 2 and phase 3.
Yeah.
And every year I fly to Miami. This year it's in Orlando to listen to, you know, the scientists themselves talk about the progression. You know, they've cured it in monkeys and mice and rats and pigs, and of course
So
they're not
it's on the-
humans,
yeah.
but it's in clinical trials with humans. And it's very hopeful. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of
Time
when.
and when. Okay.
But I do believe in my heart and soul that Samson will be cured. And one day he's going to testify to us all about, you know, how this miracle has happened in his life. And wow.
I love the name Samson. It has such a deep meaning as well. Obviously from the Bible. And,
Yeah.
But I remember from watching the movie when I was a kid, Samson was it just meant strength and determination, and in spite of being blind as well and everything like that. So it's a nice.
He was meant to have that name.
Yeah. It's a beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
But he's doing well. He learned to crawl he learned to sit up at 18 months.
Okay.
Learned to crawl at 2.5 years. And now he's, hopefully, you know, he's learning to walk independently. He took 19 steps. So
Independently?
19 steps independently.
Okay.
So now we just need to make that functional and, you know, help him do that throughout the day.
But he can walk with the walker as well, correct?
He can walk with the walker as well. Yeah.
That he can do, no problem.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
So then it has evolved a lot.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow.
But he's on seizure medication. He's on 2 seizure medications twice a day. So Angelman syndrome children, they're at usually high risk of pneumonia and high risk of life-debilitating seizures. And this is why I want him to be cured, because it's the health risks, it's the health side of things.
And the seizures, the risk is falling and
Exactly. So
passing
even if he
out.
can fall, it's the absent seizures. It's just the loss of control over his body.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've had month-long bouts of seizures, which we're trying to get control of with medication and with a low glycemic index diet. So we tried him on keto, but then there was complication with that. So now he's on, you know, limited carbs. So it's disciplined and more.
How does he eat then?
So he eats a lot of
he can
fats,
eat- he can
protein, avocados.
But so he can't swallow, so he has to.
So he can eat solids,
Oh, okay.
cannot swallow fluid.
Oh,
yeah,
okay. All right,
yeah.
interesting.
You'd think it'd be
The other way around.
Yeah.
It'd be easier to. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, it gets the water just doesn't pass. I think it's the third stage of swallow. It just
Okay.
comes back out, dribbles back out. This is why he's at risk of pneumonia, because the water's going to the lungs and not to the
Not to s-
stomach. Yeah.
So it's almost like he's drowning in
Yeah,
the.
yeah.
Wow. What would be his like favorite foods? Then what does he like? The
He loves banana, but he's not
Alright.
allowed bananas anymore.
No?
Oh no.
Why? Any?
Too many carbohydrates. Yeah, and I noticed there was more seizures with bananas, so we've cut them out.
So you have to monitor that as well. It's
He
everything.
has a banana on a Sunday. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's. If only I was as rigid to my macronutrients as Samson's diet was.
I'm sure you are. I mean, I've seen your competition photos and things, because that in itself is
Yeah.
another discipline. See, yeah, it seems like you've always had like discipline in your life, whether it was the rugby, the bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing. People don't understand that it's not just. It's not a lifestyle. It's the 20 something weeks before prep.
Yeah.
The bulking, the cutting, the shredding, the dehydrating, and
Yeah. It's not easy. I do like putting myself in difficult situations
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
develop my mindset and make it strong and unshakable. But I was speaking to my dad last week actually, and I was saying, discipline starts from a young age, and I was just thanking him for making me do things I didn't want to do at a young age.
Did he get you into rugby, your dad?
Yeah, he got me into rugby, yeah. But he also got me up early hours of the morning to go bird watching with him.
Bird
Yes,
watching?
and hunting.
Okay.
And discipline is doing what you don't want to do at the time for long-term positive effects. And he really taught me discipline. And that's why it's important that we teach our kids discipline.
From a young age, yeah.
We get them to do what they don't want to do for
Yeah.
a long-term effect. And, that's eating healthy food. That's, like my daughter practicing her gymnastics, going to swimming lessons. She doesn't want to do it sometimes. And I explained to her, yeah, but you were watching the Olympics.
And you wanted to be...
You want to be able to somersault? So we need to practice discipline.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Those things, I think, for kids, gymnastics and swimming are so important to do.
Yeah.
It's so
Riding a
hard.
bike, the most difficult journey so far with my daughter's learn is teaching her to ride a bike.
Does she know how?
There was tantrums, there was kicking the bike. We got there in the end. It was the biggest celebration we've had. And I say to her, if you ever doubt yourself being able to do something,
Remember that.
please remember
Yeah.
how much effort you put into riding your bike. And now she's riding, her arms are in the air. And I'm like, please
I
hold
can't do
on.
that. I still can't. I've been riding since I was 6, and I can ride with one hand up, but
Yeah.
not 2 hands up. No way.
But she's so proud of herself, and
she should be.
didn't give up.
Great. I mean, so your father was someone who put discipline into your life with the bird watching and hunting. Your mum must have had a huge impact on your life as well. As a role model. What was it that she did?
So I think with my mum, she was so confident in her body. A beautiful woman. Not slim, but she was very confident in her body. She didn't have any insecurities, and she always appreciated herself. And I'm very lucky enough, especially with all the competing, never to have body dysmorphia. I've always accepted my body through pregnancy and postpartum, and I put that down to my mum. I haven't. I loved how much she was body confident. And I can, I'm helping people with body confidence because of how she was a role model to me. Yeah, so I really appreciated that because a lot of us, as mums, we could show our insecurities to our daughters, right?
Yeah.
And it just passes on.
Same with fathers as well.
Yeah.
Like we pass on the same things to our kids. The sins of our fathers are passed on to the sons, and that's something we all have to be mindful of. When you were growing up, who else were role models for you that you looked up to? I'm really bad with rugby, so you could say anybody and I wouldn't know. But I mean, I grew up in a time of when it was like the England team was like Jeremy Goscott and Will Carling, so I don't know. But like, who were your?
I don't think I had
idols?
role models. I think I only had like crushes. Dan Carter and Shane Howarth, all rugby players.
Okay, I see. I don't know. I'm so bad with
I
rugby.
didn't particularly have any role models, no.
Okay.
But even now, if you ask me my role models, I guess I just strive to be a better person than I am now and to be the best I can be. Of course, there's different attributes in different people that I would love to be more like.
Such as?
Such as Holly Furtick, she's the pastor's wife from America that I listen to every Sunday. Catherine, that works for Register of Exercise Professionals here in Dubai.
I think reps. Yeah, I know Catherine. Yeah, she's also she used to compete as well.
She used to compete,
yes,
but she was also the only person that said to me, no, as a mum, you'll be stronger than before, fitter and leaner.
She's a mum.
Because she's a mum.
So she knows, it's true.
And that completely changed my mindset.
Yeah.
And she's spoken into my life quite a few times like that because, and you know, growing up in the valleys, you know, you become a mum, you put on 1 or 2 stone, your fitness career's over and, you know, your ambitions kind of die. And I think hearing words from people like that can really speak into your life just make such a difference. It's all about the mindset, right?
Okay. You've done lots. I mean, besides wanting to have more children in the future potentially, what would be another milestone, or what's next for you in terms of your own personal goals and achievements? Because I know you've competed in the Spartan races, right? And you've won there.
Yeah.
You've been 3 times personal trainer of the year, personality of the year numerous times, and in your competitions you've won, you've placed, you've won awards there. What would be the next thing that you want to do?
It's a good question. I think it was sometime last year I realized that I needed to stop competing, take a step back, focus on motherhood, focus on work, getting myself on my feet after becoming a single mum, and just navigating the journey of Angelman syndrome, doing my best to play my part in bringing a cure to our children and being there enough for my children as if it was 2 parents. And so I stepped away from competing, only temporary, which is funny really, because I think I've won more accolades the last 2 years than if I was actually competing. But as for the future, I have no idea where I'm going to be living, what I'm going to be focusing on, whether it'll be obstacle course racing, whether it'll be bodybuilding, whether it'll be something else. But for now, staying fit and strong as a mum, focusing on motherhood and trying to become the best version of myself. I know the future is going to be tough with Samson. So I think equipping myself so that I'm unbreakable, through those times.
So how long have you been single now? When did you?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. That must have had a huge impact on you and the kids.
Yeah, it was a very devastating time. Yeah, very devastating. And followed with a lot of grieving, a lot of therapy, a lot of sitting with myself and just praying on how to go forward. I thought, I can't do this alone. I'm not capable of mothering 2 children alone, especially a child with not just special needs but a sleep disorder. Like his brainwaves do not slow down. Like
he doesn't sleep at night.
He has melatonin to go to sleep, and he has his seizure medications, which they calm his central nervous system, so he's able to sleep 4 or 5 hours. But by 1 o'clock, he could be up for the day.
And then you're up with him.
And then I'm up with him. Actually, he's up, the TV's on, and I'm sleeping on the sofa next to him. Because it's I can't survive without that sleep.
Of course, nobody can.
So the first 7 weeks were extremely tough, and then I hired a night nanny, which comes twice a week now. She stays. If I do 3
Only
nights in
a
a
week.
row, if I do 3 nights in a row of being up with Samson, it really affects me that I'm unsafe on the roads.
3 nights.
If
I'd
I
do
do
1 night, I'd be unsafe on the roads.
Yeah. So if she comes twice a week, it means it's doable.
So she comes twice a week. So that means in a week you get 2 nights of.
I get 2 nights where I hit the pillow. I usually shed a few tears, and I'm
6-7 hours of
just
sleep.
relieved.
There's only 2 times a week.
Twice a week, I put my earplugs in, my sleep mask on, and I have a day nanny. She comes 7 till 2, 5 days a week, and she's like tremendous, with Samson and his development, and she's there if I need to stay, and You know, if I need to come home and sleep.
And she's there 5 days a week?
Yeah.
Okay, but you're still taking on a huge load by yourself and...
Yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot. It's a tough journey, and that's why I need to start my day. I start my day with 30 minutes of prayer time, 30 minutes cycle with some mindset motivation on.
Indoor bike just to get the body going?
Yeah, in the living room, stationary bike, to get my mind ready for the day, because, you know...
You need that, yeah.
I don't just want to survive, I want to thrive.
Yeah.
And, you know, they say mums of special needs children, they have stress levels of a soldier in combat, because you're constantly...
On alert.
On alert, yeah. And I want to have peace of mind. I want to have peace in my heart and soul. But I know I have to put in the practice to make that happen. And I feel that even though we've had 19 hospital stays with Samson, when I've sat at his bedside and I've sat with myself and I am asking God to help him, it's in the hospital stays that I've received that peace to go on and to just surrender it all and say, I cannot do this. This is in your hands.
Yeah.
Gives me strength and it gives me peace, and it just enables me to just take one day at a time. But I have to surrender that every day.
That's amazing.
But it's a blessed journey. It's a tough.
Yeah,
but
because
blessed
you wouldn't do... Yeah,
journey.
You wouldn't want it any other way.
Yeah, like you say, you don't realize how different you were until you've changed. And I didn't realize how much of the world's noise was consuming me until I'm brought to that place where I'm at his bedside and I have nothing else on my mind rather than his health. And
You're no longer you can no longer be selfish.
no longer. And the noise of the world disappears.
It's a crazy wild
Yeah,
ride, and
I
it's for
think
life.
So many people are trying to get recognized and impress people.
Yeah.
And
For what?
already they're out of purpose. I feel like, you know, we've all got gifts given to us. Same as we have, like, you know, we're all created uniquely. We've got different purposes. We've got different gifts that we need to use at the best of our ability to help others. And I feel like a lot of us are using them to impress people and get recognized, and, you know,
It's like, I remember wanting to be famous and, you know, all those kind of things, notoriety, but likes and, you know, that's the life we live in now. I'm not going to go into the thing about what's right, what's wrong, but I know how happy I am when a post gets a certain amount of likes and shares, and I know how happy I've been when I've overheard my son just in school say, you know, my daddy's a really good drawer, or he's the best drawer, or and then I'm like, I just get all like, you know, those are the things that, you know, they are the things that
matter.
I want to talk about this camel.
Okay.
Because we just got a pet, our first pet,
Okay.
the first pet I've ever had in my life, and it's my son's pet. It's a goldfish. We got it about a month ago.
And it's still alive.
It died.
Oh, okay.
It died. He knew it died. So we had a whole moment. We got this fish at a birthday party. It was a fighter fish. We went and they told us we need to get other fish to accompany it so it wouldn't get sad. And then lo and behold, that fighter fish died and the other 8 fish are still alive. So we went back to the shop and we got 2 more fish. So now he has 10 fish. That's our first foray into pets. He wants a dog. He wants a parrot. He wants cats. You know, we've managed to tell him that mommy and daddy are allergic, so no cats. But we've never had a camel, and the camel has never been on the cards. How does someone go about having a camel as a pet? Like, where do you store it? Like in your back garden, or like?
So it was 7 years ago, and one of my clients' dad gifted me a camel.
As you do.
Yeah, a very affectionate camel. He said I can name it what I want. I named it Mona, which is my middle name.
Okay.
And he keeps it down at his camel farm, and I would go down there and wash and give it a little wash, and you know, take my friends down and just spend time down there feeding them apples and things. And
It's a healthy camel. It likes apples.
yeah, loves apples, but don't give them too much because they still get the sugar rush the same as our kids do.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 7 years ago, I went on the camel caravan. So
Which
the
is
camel trek that goes across the Emirates. So we would trek on the camel 50 to 100 kilometers a day through the desert.
On the
We'd
back of a
camp.
camel?
Yes, and then we'd camp.
Outside?
Yes, camp outside.
In a tent?
We'd eat proper Arabic style. Yes, learned quite a bit of Arabic during that time. And that was an amazing experience. So my love for camels grew then.
Okay.
So I decided to breed Mona with a Sudan racing camel so that we could, that I would have a baby camel to race.
Really?
So I was pregnant with Sarah in the same time as Mona was pregnant. And so it was 12 months gestation for a camel. So she gave birth a couple of months after. And she gave birth to Moose. So I wanted to call him Moses, but of course it's a prophet's name. So called him Moose and entered him into a few races. He's not the fastest camel, to be fair, but that's been a great experience. But, you know, since COVID, the farms were starting to struggle, and Mona's actually been relocated now to a farm in Al Ain.
Okay.
So I don't see her that often, but she's very much in my heart every day. I still go camel racing. We take the camels down to the beach and swimming in the water, and because it's very hot now, or at least it's been very hot. So we take the camels in the water, and by far my favorite animal. They are just amazing creatures.
Okay.
And
have you had I know this, you've had camel milk and stuff?
yeah, I've had camel milk,
Had that?
yeah.
Okay.
You've got to, I think it's the same as every milk. You've got to drink it regular enough to get accustomed to the taste. Camel milk is the same. So if you drink almond milk and then you go and try cow's milk, it just doesn't taste good. But you've got to keep drinking it to kind of get accustomed to that taste. A bit like different brands of coffee.
Okay, could you mix it with coffee?
Yeah.
Camel milk with coffee?
Yeah. Camel milk is, I wouldn't say research says, but it's shown to rid of intolerances as well. I'm not sure how much truth is behind that, but they say give it to babies at the start of life, and means they'll have little intolerances. I don't know about that, but yeah. So I love being down the camel farm. It's a bit like being in the mountains in Wales.
Okay.
It's just being surrounded by nature and having that peace of mind and that stillness and serenity. And I find the same when I'm riding the camel through the desert.
Okay.
Just.
Yeah, but you did 50 kilometers. Is it not uncomfortable?
Yeah, that jerking movement through your mid-back is definitely not the most comfortable, but it's great fun, and you build great bonds with people that are riding alongside you. And we did it very traditionally. It was, no phones and no sunglasses, and we were
Why no
dressed
sunglasses?
in.
What's wrong with the?
Yeah. No, it was proper Emirati clothing.
Really?
Like the olden days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will ask you to choose one of these cans at random.
Oh wow! Okay.
And there is a secret. Question. Oh, actually, I'll let you choose
secret
one.
question
There's
in
a
there.
secret question there. So you can choose. Which one would you like?
I'm going to be very difficult now, and I'm going to go for the bottom middle.
Of course. It's not Jenga. Okay. There we go. Let's see what that one says. And if it's too embarrassing, we can choose another one.
Okay. If you could buy a childhood toy now, what would it be? Oof. I think I've already bought them.
What is it?
Well, Barbie dolls.
Okay.
Power Rangers. Everything
For you?
I used to play with. Yeah, the best thing about having children is that you can live your childhood all over again.
Yeah, I buy Lego.
So I think what I had in my childhood, which I haven't bought my kids yet, is a wheelbarrow. And we would just take turns riding in the wheelbarrow. So I'd say I wouldn't really class it as a toy, but it's something maybe we could take camping.
Yeah, you could do that. Okay.
But it's funny because the one thing I didn't play with in childhood was anything to do with superheroes. So
Oh,
now as an adult, I'm obsessed with superheroes.
Yeah.
And my daughter's birthday is Saturday. And in the week, she said to me, "You do know I'm only having a superhero party because you want me to have a superhero party."
She told you that.
I was like, "No." I said, "Why? What party would you have had?" Probably would have had Barbie. So I'm like ordering Barbie costumes.
Oh, so you're changing it now?
I'm changing it. But then the Barbie costume came. She tried it on. It was itchy. No, I want superhero now. So now I'm changing. Contacted the cake lady again.
Who does she want to be?
Back to superhero. So now she's going to be Supergirl. Oh.
And you're going as what? Wonder Woman?
I think Wonder Woman. I'm getting some good wear out of this Wonder Woman costume. It's been 3 years running now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I just
rightfully so.
usually do sports days, birthday parties for her.
Where are you having the birthday party?
So this time we're doing it in Treehouse Restaurant. They've got like laser tag,
Oh, where's that?
mystic golf, trampolining. It's in Blue Waters. Yeah, it's very fun.
Thank you so much for coming.
It's been amazing.
We could have
Thank
spoken about so
you.
much more as well, and it was very emotional
It's been like
for me.
it's a great catch up, right?